answers the question has the opportunity to get up, choose somebody else in the crowd to come back and take their spot.
Okay.
Okay? All right, so first question is. Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Want to hear the question?
That makes
The
sense.
answer, not the question.
All right. So I'll keep my clip on. You good?
Yeah, we're good.
So you don't have to move the camera? Yeah, because you got all this. Remember? We looked at that together.
Take the question, go for it.
It's fine, he could bring the camera forward. Be less of a hassle. There we go. Fuego. All right. All right, so currently we're facing a so-called economic slowdown. What does that mean for the housing market right now?
Not as many houses selling?
Not as, all right, just take the mic, take the mic. There you go.
Sorry, I was ready for it. Not selling as many homes as we were just a couple of months ago.
And why is that?
Interest rates are going up. Inflation, political turmoil, so many factors.
It's a good answer. Okay, pass it off. Choose somebody else to come up.
Okay, great.
Anybody else want to answer that question, or you want me to go on to the next question?
Heard you
No, I
whispering.
think I'm good. No,
Okay.
She said.
Okay, all right. You can choose somebody else to come up. Just point at them, they'll come up. All right. What is your expert market forecast for the next half years, let's say the next 6 months, and what do you intend to do or change in your business to prepare for it?
Well, I'm definitely gonna implement Kevin's spreadsheet and take a look at the, yeah, definitely gonna implement that in our plan. I think so we can look back, but also project to what's the future. And what else was that?
So that's what you're going to intend to change in your
Yeah.
business over the next 6 months?
Yeah, so we can pivot based on the clientele that's gonna come. I think the recession's not really gonna be personally, I don't think it's gonna be a huge fall. I think it's just pivoting and finding the right client and marketing those clients.
Awesome. All right, pass it off. All right, you can choose somebody else. Just point at them, they'll come up. Okay? What is the one thing that you took away from this weekend that you will immediately implement in your business or life?
That I took away from this weekend and I'm going to implement is I think my marketing. I think representing myself. I know I spoke a lot about niche and stuff like that, but I don't know that I do a really good job putting that out there. I could do better. And I started today with the slides being the butterflies and just being myself, and that made me happy. So I'm going to do that.
Awesome. All right.
That's it.
Leave the mic, please. Leave the mic.
Oh, whoops. All right, hold on. Pay attention.
Can I pick the question that you asked me?
No.
Just wanted to make sure it was an easy one.
All right. If your business,
What?
I'm talking to the rapper now, so I got to get down with it. You know what I mean? All right. If your business has to shift, what will you begin to focus immediately? For instance, if the market led to more short sales and REOs, what would be the first thing you implemented to adjust in a shifting business?
Come out. Like, I don't want to do that. No, I don't. I guess I'm going to learn as much as I possibly can about short sales and foreclosures. And I'm a big person that taps into resources, so I'm going to the agents that have worked short sales and in foreclosures in the past. Is that kind of what you asked me? And I'm going to pick their brain.
You're fine. Yeah.
And I'm going to ask how they became successful. I already have several agents that are in my wheelhouse that like to tell me about the back in the days when it was hard. So I'm going to go straight to them and try to implement the new age stuff with their old age short sale foreclosure techniques.
Awesome. Great answer.
But I want to hear what you have to say. You raised your hand. You want me to come up? Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Are you going to tag off of what I said? Okay.
Even specific things.
Okay.
Yeah, he's going to get, yeah. 'Cause
I'm coming up. I know it shocks you. I'm coming up to the front of the room again.
he's part two. He's part two of her answer.
All right.
It's a two-part person question.
There is a training course called it's CDPE, Certified Distressed Property Expert. There's actually a gentleman here that owns the training program. His name is Tony, and David has his contact info.
I do.
That will be step one. If you want to hedge your bet, if the market's going to slow down, you're going to end up with short sales and foreclosures. You should take that and get certified. And then the second thing you should be looking at is if you're going to do a lot of this, hire yourself a short sale negotiator, contract person.
Can I add a third piece to that? Yeah, so make friends with all the short sale attorneys.
Sure.
Because when the market shifted last time, what saved me was two very strong relationships with short sale and foreclosure attorneys. And I was able to pick up an enormous amount of business by being their primary go-to agent. And fourth part.
As a consortium certified agent, we are working with companies right now because what we are is a data-driven company. Anyway, and by the way, if your client's someone that you have done business with for some reason is in a foreclosure state, you will get notifications to be able to contact them and say, hey guys, is there something I could help you with right now? That's all data. This payment's a data, and that's something we plan on implementing to have in places where short sales or foreclosures potentially coming to, again, help people. Rather than lose their home, be able to contact them. And we are starting that with agents who are building in our database very soon.
Awesome.
What's the name of the certification and where we can find it?
CDPE.
Certified Distressed
CDPE.
Property Expert.
I'll share it with you. I know Tony. I'll share it with you. Yeah, yeah.
Tony's local.
Yeah. He's in Miami. All right, so I'm going to come back to Kevin for this one, if that's okay, and then we'll release him back to the wild. So, right?
I don't.
So right now we're supposedly in a recession. How can real estate agents best prepare for what's to come?
Well, you'll know you're in the recession when the GDP comes out for the next quarter, which will actually be closer to September's timeframe. But you should assume we are, given how well things are being managed. So the way you solve the issue of being in a recession, you should be talking to a lot more people.
It's awesome.
So what you don't want to do is wait until those numbers on the spreadsheet change dramatically. You should take a guess at what direction it's going to go, and and pay attention to the numbers. And you just want to talk to a lot more people. The human nature thing is, especially with agents too, is they panic, which means they're going to basically sit on their hands, not do things until they can see very clearly, oh, here's what I should be doing now, which might look like what we just talked about with short sales. But until it shows up on the news or in the newspaper, they're going to be way behind the curve. So don't be that person. Be actually increasing the number of conversations. You have more people in your sphere, more people in social media, more people in general in your marketplace. There's a lot of business to be had right now.
Yep. I call it the TGI Fridays.
Yes.
And some of you guys have heard, you can
Am I
point
released
at.
to the wild again?
Yes, you can point at anybody. Point at anybody. You got to point at anybody and bring them up here if they haven't been here yet. All right, so I have a story that I often tell people. And when the market was fire, right, back in 2007, like you could buy a condo, and at the same closing table, you could resell it for $100,000 more. Like it was just nuts, right? And everybody's getting qualified because for some reason in 2007, janitors were earning like six figures. It was nuts, right? $500,000 a year salary, just put it on the paper, and yes, you got the loan, right? And so I specifically remember, and I'll never forget the story, and I keep saying the story at a lot of events that I do because it was impactful to me, and it made me realize that people don't have a fucking clue. And so I remember being at a condo in South Beach with my buyer, ready to go show a property, and the listing agent shows up. He was late, shows up in a Lambo, gets out the Lambo, he's got the nice clothes on. You know, I said, hey, what's up? He's like, oh, blah, blah, like he's the coolest shit since sliced bread, right? We get upstairs to the condo. He unlocks the door. He just opens the door. He goes, go show the condo. And he didn't even show the condo or nothing. Why? Why did he even have to try? Everything was selling. Like nothing stayed on the market. Everything was selling, and it was selling 3 times in a couple months, right? And so I never forgot that guy because he pissed me off so much. Like there were plenty of assholes in the industry, but that guy was like next level, right? Market crashes, world turns upside down. I'm the short sale king, right? I'm still rocking in the market. And I go to TGI Fridays with a friend of mine, and guess who my waiter was?
Yes, driving a Honda.
Guess who? I don't know. He's probably fucking walking. He probably got his girlfriend probably dropped him off. All right, but guess who my waiter was, and guess what I fucking said? How's the Lambo? Oh, you know what happened in the market, man? How you doing? I'm doing fucking great. And that was the end of that conversation. He probably spit in my food. Yeah. Mike, so we're gonna go with what technology do you see a lot of realtors using? What's your number one go-to tech piece?
Definitely CRM, Follow-Up Boss, things like that. Somewhere where you can keep in touch with your clients, monthly email newsletter or weekly. Some agents do weekly, but definitely keeping in front of everybody and adding people to your database. Huge.
Awesome.
Anybody
All
got
right.
something to add? Go for it.
You can point at somebody now who wasn't up here. All right. Who are you pointing at? Renee hasn't been up here. No. Renee hasn't been up here. There you go. All right. This is actually great for you. Looking at real estate agents from the outside, right? You're in the lending business and you look at real estate agents and how they market themselves. What do you see has been most effective? Like, what do you see some marketing techniques that real estate agents are using to be more effective in the market, to be more noticed, to call more attention?
I mean, I would say like marketing on social media, those platforms, definitely, set you apart from everyone else. Obviously, the CRMs as well, keeping in contact with your relationships, your past database is really huge. Following up on all your closings that closed, call them, ask, again, the biggest thing is asking for the business. On all the listings that you sold or clients that, that bought a house from you, is just basically staying in front of them, sending out birthday cards, like was said in the presentations, just staying in front of those clients because those clients know more people that's looking to buy homes. So I think that's like the biggest thing for me is. Awesome, man. Appreciate that. All right. You can pass it off. You can point at somebody like Elba. And then, all right. So what is your idea, or maybe you have one already, or maybe you're planning on implementing one. But what is your growth strategy ideas for social media presence?
Consistency is key. You have to be consistent. So whether it's finding out when your niche market is on social media and posting then, definitely make it more of a 70-30 learn from me versus look at me post. Make it educational. Always in your posting when it comes to social media, call to action, whether it's put an emoji here if you agree, or send me a message, and make it very simple. Like I do it in my other online beauty business. I DM me the word, lipstick or something simple, right? Something catchphrase. And then take a look at your niche market, what they're doing, and look at the hashtags they're using and go search those hashtags. And this is what I do every single day. I'll pick a hashtag for the week, and then I will search by that. I'll start with the top influencers, and I'll just I'll look at some of their posts. I'll send them a DM. Hey, I really love the information. I learned so much from blah, blah, blah. And start the conversation. And then just using your CRM or using a spreadsheet, however whatever you do to keep things in order, and look at that. And then, but when you're scheduling, like they talked about the lead gen time, when you turn things off, if you're doing this particular activity in social media, just send out the messages and the connections. You might get a few responses right away. Don't do that. Like you can answer them in a few seconds or when you finish that reach out time. So just be very structured when you're doing it. Video and reels on Instagram, better than a static post, unless you're posting a carousel, which means you're posting 5 to 6 pictures that people can swipe, and make it each tile educational, and then adding what that is in the caption. And then also if you're doing a video, if you can add, especially in a reel on social media, add the word read caption for details, or check out the caption for the hot info. Give them something visually to respond to, because how many of you, yes or yes, scroll through social media, you like the picture and then you keep going, you never read what the information is, right? So you've got to kind of set yourself apart. And so for me also on social media, if you follow me, it's at Christy Data, small plug. If you, just like anything else, be distinct, set yourself apart. So if you notice, I have bright red hair, and then a lot of my posts and my videos, I have the fun, big, goofy glasses. That's what people recognize me for. Whenever I do a live, any of that stuff, that's how I set myself apart.
Awesome. Thank you for that.
Really long
Yeah.
answer. I'm so sorry.
All right, so don't worry about pointing at anybody because we're going to rotate these as the last ones, okay? So don't, you can go. You can go. Thank you. Thank you. All right. How can I, as a seller, maximize on my property value? What do you recommend to sellers to prepare for the sale?
Right. So in this market, I say every sale is like a beauty contest, right? The house that looks the best is the one that's going to get the most offers. Follow what builders are doing. Like if builders are offering new flooring, they're offering granite countertops, then maybe in your listing you should be offering those same things because you want to attract the person to your house and not to the builders. So that's what I would, short and sweet.
Awesome. Appreciate that. Nice. Hey, do you approve of my strategy? I finally got Elba here by herself on stage, rocking it out.
My God. Do I have to press anything?
No,
Hello, everybody. Hello,
no.
hello, hello,
You don't
everybody.
even have to hold it that close. It could be like down
Okay,
here.
hello,
chilling.
everybody.
All right. All right, so I'll give you this because this one I think you could really tie into. What should you be looking for when you're interviewing industry partners like title, mortgage, inspectors, surveyors, etc., to be a part of your team?
That's a good one. Okay, so when I'm looking for a team member, I need them to be able to answer my call when I call you. We are all so busy, and we don't have time to wait for someone to call me back. I have a question right now. I need to be able to contact you and reach you at the moment to answer my questions so I can take care of my client. And I struggle with that. And I've been through so many lenders with that same situation. And I found Cedric that answers my calls at any time of the day or night that I call. For whatever reason it is. Are you missing a pay stub? Do you need a letter of income? Whatever it is, I need to know that you have that. And it makes that much of a difference for the realtor to be able to supply that, to close that deal, to get that buyer to close that deal. So many lenders in-house don't do that. And that's a big deal. That's a big deal.
Thank you so much.
So,
You're good.
so thank you guys.
We'll release you back. All right. I know, I saw that. You saw that, right? You saw it. We're practicing for the next mastermind is what we're doing now. All right. I'm going to ask a last question, and this could be personal, and we'll just take one person who raises their hand. I'll pass you the mic. And I would like you to share maybe a challenge that you currently have in your business and allow the room to help you with that challenge. Who would like to volunteer for that? Everybody's perfect? Yes! Awesome. All right, here's the mic.
Okay, so we are in this new digital age of everything, and I know that there's been a lot of people here that have been super successful, decades, maybe 5 years, whatever the time frame is. What is your best social media tip to give, since that's where most of my expertise comes in, but I'm not familiar with this real estate genre? Like, what are the things that people are responding to, replying to, where are you getting your engagement from when you make your posts? Like, what are the topics, maybe some of the captions, hashtags you're using?
Okay, who wants to answer that? And I'll follow whoever answers first. Here you go. I don't want to lose Jeannie.
I've done a lot of business on social media. I mean, a lot, like I have tens of thousands of followers via a lot of social media accounts. And I can tell you the one advice I give you is don't forget about the people that you know, your sphere of influence. What I find is that agents focus on people they don't know. Focus on the people you know, focus on the people who care about you, focus on the people who, if you had to call them and say, hey, Uncle Bob, I need help, because that person on social media is not that person. And one of my coaches, Beth, said years ago, he goes, Anthony, next time you're in Starbucks, I want you to go up to the lady that has the baby in her hands and go grab that baby from her. What you think happens if I grab that baby? That lady's going to freak the hell out. Okay? But he goes, you go in Starbucks and your cousin's in line and your brother's in line and you're holding your nephew, you go grab your nephew, what happens? Take this kid, please. He's crying, screaming, freaking out. That's who you want to do business with.
All right. Can I jump in on that if you don't mind? One of the things that I think real estate agents forget is that people work with us because they like us. And most of the time it's not because we're great at real estate. They're looking at us and our personalities, and they know that this is a very difficult transaction of their lives, right? And a very big one. So they want to work with someone they relate to, right? So in this business particularly, I always tell people, don't be so throwing up real estate on everybody all the time on social media, right? Be yourself. Who are you? You know, the dogs, the butterflies, motorcycles, biking, fitness, whatever it is, be that person, and you're going to attract like-minded individuals. And then every once in a while, you're going to throw in some real estate stuff just to remind them what you do for a living, consistently. The other piece I would tell you is, we always say, you know, be interesting, but more important, be interested. And so oftentimes as social media marketers or business marketers, we get on social media and we do a lot of posting, but we forget to actually comment on other people's posts and say, wow, that's great. Or, hey, the kids are growing up so quickly. Or my famous emoji, right? Because I do that a lot, right? But you know, when I do it, it's because I think, you know, your photo's super cool. I like it, you know? And so you have to be interested in other people's lives in order for them to even want to be interested in you, number one. And number two, Facebook and Instagram is looking at that. So the more you interact with those people and they interact with you, those are the algorithms that you're building. So when you do post something real estate related, it does show up in front of them, right?
Can I jump in?
Yeah, of course. You got the mic?
One thing that I try
You got
to
the mic?
do, at least with my client. One thing that I try to do, at least with my clients, is I try to incentivize them to do something different, right? Libby would vouch for me on that because I've had her do videos that she's uncomfortable with, right? And those videos happen to perform very well. Yeah. So never be afraid to actually do something, even if, you know, it's simple. You know, like I'll grab a video of her. I tell her, hey, I don't want to do a video right now. I'm like, yo, you're doing a video. You know, it's gonna be like 30 seconds. You know, but you're gonna do a video, and usually those even perform better than the professional videos that I do. You know, so never be afraid to do, you know, at least to get out of that, you know, get out of that mindset, you know, of just do something. All right, that's what it is.
Anybody else want to pitch in on that? Yeah.
My coach told me to go in on my hashtag strategy. So, thanks. So my coach, he told me, he's like, go in on your hashtag strategy. So I said, okay, location. I'm in the Keys. So I actually attracted somebody from Jersey that also owns pets, that loved the area I lived in, Key Colony Beach. And she was my same zodiac sign. Like, where does that? So I'm like, it was total alignment. So I would post things little by little about, hey, Virgo, and I would hashtag that. And little by little, people will come to that. So be genuine, definitely. Be yourself. And then people are going to be attracted to you for that, for who you are. And use that in your hashtags. How we can use like 30. Okay, so put your location, put what you do, your fit. You look like freaking Wonder Woman. Put that. I mean, so yeah, hashtag strategy totally, and videos. You're gonna kill it. All right, I'm done. Next, you're welcome.
Some of my best photos.
No, not me.
Some of my best pictures, and Gina would tell you, is when I grab her, you know, I start making her laugh. I start doing like different things. Those pictures, she likes usually better than the ones that just standing and I tell her to pose, right? So just be yourself. You know what I'm saying? Just be natural. Do you. Forget about the noise around you. Those haters are always. There's always gonna be somebody hating, especially if you're performing well. Right? The more you perform, the more haters you're gonna get usually. Right? So, I mean, if you have haters, then you're doing something right. All right? That's what it is.
Your job to get another one.
I guess.
Give it to Jean.
On hashtags, I guess to answer some of the other questions, on hashtags, like when I was doing the probate, I would post a lot about probate. I had a lot of posts about that. Did you know that this? You know, I had random quotes about it, you know, where there's a will, there's a way, you know, so I would play with words. And I got listings off of this, you know, so they're not the easiest listings. So whoever even has any remote interest in probate, understand you're going to be crying a lot. But, you know, whatever it is that you're focusing on, you use a lot, you know, veteran or veteran lender and stuff like that, you know, stuff like that you're focusing on. So find who it is that you're working with. Okay. I think you have a lot of international stuff happening. Yeah. I would tap on that. Okay.
I have a question.
Yes.
For Anthony.
When you're talking about engaging with certain people on social media that you obviously don't know them, but I know that you talked about different investments and different things that have to do with computer. So the idea would be, how are you approaching them? How are you starting the conversation with them? I personally live in a certain area and got involved in a lot of moms groups. I'm not as young as some of those people, but I am a mom, so I try to be the words of wisdom. I try to comment on people's posts. If somebody will say, where's the best place to watch the fireworks in our town, I gave some information about that.
I really don't, I guess I speak to them, like I talk about what I like and people listen, if that makes sense. So I'll tell you a funny story, like you mentioned, you're in fitness. So a lot of people don't know this about me, but I sold a lot of real estate in New Orleans, but one thing I had, my real estate coach told me, get a hobby. And I'm like, a hobby? I sell real estate. That's my hobby. And she's like, no, get a hobby. So I go, okay, what do I like to do? Eat, as you can tell. Okay? So I like to eat, so I said, okay, I'm going to go on this Instagram, which I barely knew what Instagram was, and I'm going to start this food account called Eating Nola. 155,000 followers later, I turned into this crazy real estate foodie guy, was talking to people about food, and oh yeah, by the way, I'm a real estate agent. And people ask me how I sold $200 million in volume a year in real estate, and I say, because I like to eat. Funny, but again, know you.
Turning around to some of those people and having like a private message with them, or?
Not really. They come in masses. And I'll tell you, if you look at, there's two guys out there doing something very well. You guys may write these names down. Levi Lansky and Travis Plume.
Travis what?
Plume. Living in Dallas YouTube channel. Okay? You want to learn how to create an audience? These two guys have done it in 2 years. They've dominated the Dallas market, and they're right now, they've sold over $100 million in volume in 6 months, 2 years. Well, they've been in the business, don't get me wrong, but they perfected it. And again, they're not doing private conversations. They're talking to the masses. They're relaying a message that someone is going to listen to. So if you think about that, you're talking to the mom when they say something. What about talking about being a mom? Or the things that you've learned. They said you're not as young as the other ones maybe, but guess what? That means you're smarter. Like, that means you're more seasoned. That means they're going to look to you for advice. That's my thought.
Nice. All right, we got one more over there, and then go Wonder Woman.
So one thing that I found that helps me in social media, if I sucked at makeup, I still suck at makeup. It's like a paint by numbers thing. So I would go out on social media and look for something I wanted to learn, and then start engaging with experts that were in that and sending them messages and creating a relationship that way, because you never know, they could be like, oh, what do you do? And it gives you an opportunity to kind of share what you do. So if there's stuff that you've always wanted to try and learn, start engaging with those people on social media. It's a great way to start conversations.
Awesome. right.
Levi, Lansky, and Travis. Just go look on
Easiest way
YouTube.
is to get on YouTube and type in living in Dallas.
Living in Dallas, Texas.
Living in Dallas.
All right, guys, so we're gonna close out today, and we're gonna have Renee send us off on a gratitude call. So,
Yes.
I'm gonna let you have it.
Yes, I feel so grateful to be with all of you. Sarah, you know, it's been forever since I've seen you, but the other agents in here and lenders and title and all that, I feel like we're a sense of we're family, and I hope you all feel that, and I hope you all like took some of that gratitude, right, and opened yourselves up this weekend and shared it with people. I know I did. I told a lady today, she was complaining about, you know, cleaning the bathrooms outside. And I told her how grateful I was that she was the person that cleaned the bathrooms, because she was having such a bad day, and she came up and gave me a hug. But there was a quote yesterday, it doesn't matter what you do for people, it doesn't matter what you say to them, but they'll remember you for how you made them feel. So who in this room would like to share some gratitude that, you know, over this past weekend, or just something that's happened over the last few days to close out our session? Love to hear. No? Yes?
Yes.
I feel like that kid. I feel like, so now you know how old I am. Does everybody remember Welcome Back, Kotter, and that kid that was like, ooh, 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 ooh. Yeah. So now you know how old I am. Okay. I just want to say I am forever grateful to Jen and David and the opportunity that they have given me to be in this room to learn from all of you, because education is very important to me and success leaves clues, and I'm so grateful that there's such a group here that's willing to share their success tips with me, just being brand new in the business. So thank you.
Yes. All right, we'll get one more share. Anybody got one more share?
I will, just because it's silent and odd.
There you go. You got a mic right there.
Oh, yes. No, I'm done rapping today.
I got a beat.
Yeah. Oh, that's when I really get tongue twisted, and then it's really bad. Okay, so I'm grateful for being able to rub elbows and shoulders with a lot of you, even though I didn't get out and speak to you guys a whole lot. I kind of was hermit in my room a lot, but I still had the opportunity to come out, and it's really like that's something that I would say the best part about this business is being able to talk to other agents that are in different states, that are in different cities, in different markets, that have different niches, is just being able to like spend the entire weekend with all of you and learn so much. Like I do have $1 million, couple $1 million buyer with crypto. I can't wait to like take this and be like, please help me. I want to be the first agent maybe in Tampa to sell a crypto house. I don't know. But I think it's awesome that I was invited, first of all. I mean, you guys all kind of know each other. I don't feel like an outsider. I feel like part of you guys. So thank you so much for welcoming us.
I'm going to say something on that. One of the biggest mistakes that we make as salespeople is that we stay in our bubble. And so we stay in exactly what we know with who we know, right? And so I remember having my first pop the bubble breakthrough the first time I ever traveled somewhere else to learn something from a completely different market. And that for Jen and I was when we went to California for 3 days, and we spent time with people that were from the West Coast. We were the only people there from the East Coast. And we got to hear an entire different idea of how real estate's done, because it is not done Miami style. Out that way, okay? And so,
like I came from the East Coast, and
yeah, so we tell people what happens in Miami, and they're like, "What the for real?" You know. But also different marketing tips and different ideas and humanality and just getting to know personalities, and everybody knows East Coast people are very different than West Coast people. So just kind of getting out of your bubble, even as far as Tampa's a completely different market. Virginia's a completely different market. Jersey's a completely different market. Puerto Rico's a completely different market. All of these are very, very, very different markets. And converging here in Miami and connecting is great. And then next step is, where do we go next, right? So continue to educate yourselves and continue to invest in yourselves for growth, 100%. All right, guys, I want to thank everybody for coming out for the weekend. I know we went a little longer today, but it was still fun and super informative. I would absolutely be amazingly grateful if as many of you as possible can give Gene a testimonial of how you feel about the last 3 days. Greatly appreciate you guys for everything. Take care.